So let's take a look at the new gauge cluster inside the new Toyota Tacoma. This is a 24 TRD Sport. And of course, it's completely redone, and they didn't leave out the gauge cluster, which, by the way, I really like. I love that it's digital. I love what they've done with it. So let's go ahead, start the truck up. Gonna just see the screen that I have up, and I believe, if I remember, it's the Sport screen, I think. And you can see what I've got on the cluster right now. I've got a compass on the left, which frankly, I need to change because I never use that. We have an RPM gauge over there on the left as well. And then on the middle, we really have nothing other than miles per hour. It shows what mode it's in, which right now it always defaults to Eco. It shows that our headlights are on. It shows that there's no passengers in the rear. Of course, we have the time over here, and then the nanny stuff right there. And off to the right, we've got, let's see, a speedometer in gauge form, I suppose. Average fuel economy, which right now is at 17.8. And then we have the fuel gauge, as well as how many miles are left. There's a no seatbelt on sign down there right now for me, and then it shows that we're in park. I'm going to shift into gear just to show you how that changes. You can see it simply goes away, and then we'll go to neutral, no other indications there, and then drive, which actually, if you look in the center of the gauge underneath the miles per hour, you can see a D for drive, an N for neutral, there's an R for reverse, and a P for park. That's the screen that I'm running on right now, but what else can you do? Well, on the steering wheel, you have, of course, a myriad of buttons and things. Right over here on the left, if you hold down this OK button, it's going to change the screen to where you can arrow left or right. We're going to go left. And the first thing that pops up was navigation. We're not going to do anything with navigation. We're going to scroll down. I've got to start over. It timed out on me. Doesn't give you very long, really. So push the arrow over to the left, and then you can use the OK section to scroll down through. You can see I can put tire pressure there, which looks like I need maybe a pound in the front left. Scroll down again, and you get traction monitor. This shows you, I guess, how you're doing with all of your wheels and stuff. Auxiliary gauges, it shows you battery and oil. Then we have a turbo gauge, which of course is something we haven't had before. Let's see if we can make that thing jump. We can't. It doesn't do anything for the turbo if you nail the gas, unless you're actually moving. And it timed us out again, so we're gonna go back over, go down again, and it's just blank, nothing in that screen. Arrow down again, and it shows eco indicator. Don't really care about that. And back to navigation. Now, if you want to move over to the right, and by the way, while we're over here, let's hold that down again, go back over, and I'm going to go back to tire pressure. Now, I'm going to arrow over to the right, and I can change things over here as well. You've got driving support, adaptive cruise control mode I don't want, that familiar navigation, audio, and then we've got drive info, trip distance, trip time, and then trip A, trip B, tire pressure, which would be kind of redundant, a pitch and roll feature showing different angles if you're driving on, I guess, different terrain. There is a trailer indicator there, and then engine oil, blank, and back to fuel economy. And I'm going to leave mine right now on fuel economy. Now, something else you can do, let's go ahead and hold that button down again. You can actually arrow up or down to see messages, blank, driving support, or settings. Now, I can also, with it timed out, let's let it go back to just normal. You have to wait a couple seconds, I guess, for that to happen. Now, if I arrow left or right, I can go to different setups already defaulted, I guess, for the gauge cluster. All I'm doing is just pushing on the buttons here to go through the 3 different, I guess, pre-set up or chosen screens, I suppose. Now, if we go back to settings, and we'll have to let this time out again. And actually, I'm going to go back to the one I prefer, which is, I suppose, let's see, number 3. Number 3. And then if you hold this down, comes back to settings, and you can arrow up or down here as well for messages. Back to settings again. Let's go back to that. If I hold that down or push on it, it brings up another screen where I can choose a whole bunch of different settings. All the nanny stuff, vehicle settings, meter settings. Let's check out meter settings. Gonna hold that down. It's got language, units, meter type, meter style. Let's check meter style. Now, this is where you can select sporty, which is what I have it in right now. Tough, let's take a look at that. That's the tough screen. Smart, there's what the smart screen looks like, more of a futuristic thing. Then they have casual. Yeah, I don't think I dig that really. We're gonna go down. I think we're gonna run for a while. Maybe we'll run tough for a while. I kind of like that screen as well. I'm not sure really what's tough about it other than the style around the gauges themselves kind of match up a little bit with the controls that we have on the center cluster. To get out of that, you just want to push the back button and again until it takes you back to this screen. I'm going to run this one, like I said, for a while. I think this looks pretty good. There are obviously other things that you can do within the settings. It would probably take me a good hour to run through all of the different things that you can do in the truck. And frankly, nobody's going to watch gauge settings for an hour, right? Anyway, it's just an improvement, I think, for the Tacoma. If anything, the gauge cluster style that we had compared to everything else that's out there in the market right now was getting a little bit long in the tooth. I mean, you really could kind of see the age in the Tacoma by what you had right in front of you, if nothing else. Toyota has definitely taken a leap forward in giving us the flexibility to maybe put different things up there now that you want. And the good thing about it is if you're not into that kind of stuff and you don't care, you set it once and you forget about it, and you'll always have the stuff up there that you want. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of my brief little run through on most of the things that I use in the Tacoma. Worth having, or yeah, who cares? As long as I can see how fast I'm going and how much gas I have, I don't really care. I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.